Good. Thank you, everyone. And let me share my screen, even though I wasn't. I thought that the call will never happen. So, okay. I see that it is here. Just a second. Uh, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see very well. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about the university and what we do. And I would like to and I would like to. Do you see the full screen? Is it a full screen? My presentation?
No, it's not, actually.
Yes, sir. I can see clearly your screen share as well.
You can see what?
Yes, sir. I can see able to see the screen shares as well. Thank you.
Please make sure to off your microphone until the end for the time of the questions. And we can see your screen, Shai, but not in full. But I think it's okay, Shai.
Okay. So, do you see it now in full?
Yeah, it's good now. It's all right.
Okay. So again, thank you very much for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk to you. And let me share with you a few stories. Malik. Malik was a university student in Pennsylvania when he realized that he is accumulating debt to the point that he will never be able to pay them back. So he decided that he is going to quit, take some time off, work, get the money, and then go back to school. He found a job in New York, quit school, went to New York, landed, came to Penn Station, and called the place that offered him the job just to realize that the job was not there for you anymore. And then he told me there he was in Penn Station without a job, without a place to live, without a university to go back to, with a $20 bill and um, a backpack with a few clothes. He became homeless in New York. He found a store that was willing to hold his clothes while he was, in return for him cleaning the store every night. He was sleeping on the floor, and every day he sent faxes. It was few years back, where faxes was the main communication, and he sent faxes every day looking for a job. He spent a few months on the floor of the Grand Central Station until eventually he found a job as a ticket boy in the Madison Square Garden above the Penn Station. So he started working, started getting a little bit getting back his life, but he realized that he won't be succeeding in life unless he will have the education. So he looked around. He couldn't afford going to a local college until he found University of the People. Now he's a student of the university. He started his own job as his own company, marketing company, and dreaming of being a congressman. Actually, has his own radio show right now. He's a very successful person with a family, planning to run for Congress. Let me introduce you to Dolores. Dolores was living in Haiti when the devastating earthquake happened in 2010. She had to quit her studies due to the incredible damage of the earthquake, actually 28 universities out of the 32 in Haiti were totally destroyed. And she moved to the US and applied for asylum in order to have a better chance, to have a better future. She knew that she couldn't find a meaningful employment until she had completed her bachelor degree. However, she got stuck. She had a dilemma. She didn't have the proper legal documents, and she couldn't apply to a school in the US and definitely couldn't afford higher education. So she didn't know what to do. She was in debt, and she didn't know how she could afford moving forward again until she found University of the People. She received a scholarship, sorry, earned her associate degree, and is now working toward her bachelor degree with the University of the People. Thanks to the degree, she has already got a job, can provide for her family back home in Haiti. Those like Dolores, who can't get higher education because of their legal status, University of the People is the solution. Finally, I want to introduce you to Omar. Omar is Syrian, and during the war in Syria, one day his mother woke him up and said, "Hey, Omar, your brother is outside and there are bombs. Please go out and bring him back home," his younger brother. He went home, he couldn't find his brother. He went to the hospital, he found his brother without a leg. He was telling me that he was crying for 5 hours until his brother calmed him down and convinced him that life will be okay. And then he promised his brother and himself that whatever it takes, he will make sure that his brother is going to walk again. So as his brother became a bit better and started to recover, they took a car all the way to the Turkish border. He carried his brother on his shoulder for 5 miles, crossing the border, and got to Turkey. And then luckily they found an NGO that brought them to the US. He arranged a prosthetic to his brother. However, being a refugee in the US is not much fun. He got a permission to stay and then he lost it. He got another one and then he lost it. And every time he lost it, he couldn't get a job. So part of the time he worked, part of the time he slept in his car being homeless with his brother and actually with a woman that he married in the US, another Syrian refugee. But he realized that he has no future this way. The only way for him to succeed in life is through education. But obviously, he couldn't afford higher education, neither for legal reasons nor for financial reasons. So he came to University of the People. Again, for those like Omar who cannot get higher education because of political reasons, University of the People is the solution. So if you have to guess how many people or how many students worldwide are deprived from higher education, you would be surprised. UNESCO stated that in 2025, just around the corner, 98 million students will be deprived from higher education in the existing universities, mainly meaning there will be one or close to 100 students who will be qualified for higher education, and simply there won't be seats available for them in the existing universities. And this statistics is even before the corona pandemic. For these people, we created University of the People, the first nonprofit, tuition-free, accredited online university, opening the gates of higher education to those who have no other alternative for higher education. When I announced University of the People in the UN, it was a significant turning point in my life. After being in for-profit education for almost 20 years and being in charge of tens of programs for hundreds of thousands of students, I started the first online university in Europe through a partnership with the University of Liverpool. And that's where I saw how powerful online learning can be. We had students from all over the world. They could keep their job, stay with their family, and still get this great European education. But I also realized that for most people, this great education, this great solution was nothing but a wishful thinking. Most people could not afford it. It was simply too expensive. I ended up, I ended up selling this university and the rest of my business, went to, went to New York and decided that I want to continue. But I didn't want to do more of the same. I felt that it's now my turn to give back. And for me to give back had to be in a way that will have an impact on the world. And nothing can have an impact in the world more than education. Because if you think about it, when you educate one person, you can change a life. But if you educate many, you can change the world. So I looked around and I realized that everything that made the university, the European university, so expensive was already available and for free. Open source technology, technology that people develop for others to use for free, open educational resources, which is content that people produce, many professors, and put on the net for the rest of the world to use for free. And the new internet culture of where people are sharing, teaching, and learning from each other for free. And I realized that actually all the ingredients that made higher education so expensive is available for free. All I had to do was to put it all together and create a tuition-free university. So I did. So the day I announced the university, the New York Times wrote a page about it, and the next day I already had endless number of professors who wrote me an email and said, we would love to help make this dream a reality. We believe that it's about time to cut down the cost of higher education, to enable people who have no opportunity to get higher education, and we want to help you make it happen. So now we have over 17,000 volunteers, and they are our instructors, they are academic supporters. All of them are people who came on board. And this is not just people. Our President's Council consists of the best presidents of the best universities in the world, chaired by John Sexton, the President Emeritus of NYU. It includes Nick Dirks, the former Chancellor of Berkeley, George Rapp, President Emeritus of Columbia University, Thorsten Weisel, President of Rockefeller University and Nobel Prize winner, and many others. You can see their names here, and if you want, you can dig into them in our website. Our provost team, is from Columbia University and from other places. Our deans are from NYU and Princeton, and our top academic leadership hail from Oxford, Harvard, MIT, Michigan, and many other leading universities. We are partnered with NYU, whereas our students, after a year with us, can transfer to NYU Abu Dhabi. UC Berkeley, where our associate degree graduate, after 2 years with us, can transfer to Berkeley to complete the degree on campus. And with the University of Edinburgh, where our Syrian refugee, who are health science graduates, are eligible to apply to the University of Edinburgh to complete their bachelor degree in health science and society. In 2004, when we received our initial accreditation, we had 500 students. Since then, since 2014, I hope I said 2014, since 2014, we double our number. So every year we double the number. This term, which began early April, about a month ago, we have over 31,000 students from over 200 countries. So we double every year. Now we have over 3,100,000 students coming from 200 countries and territories, literally from every country of the world. Many of our students experience hardship, and therefore they need personalized attention. We are the opportunity for those who have no other opportunity. We open our doors to every qualified student who wants to study and to get quality education. But because of the kind of students that we have, and because many of them coming from hardship, and their academic background is not necessarily very strong, we put them in small classes of 20 to 30. So those who need personalized attention get it. We mix the students from around the world. So every time a student takes a class, he meets 20 to 30 new students from 20 to 30 new countries. They spend every week, every course is 9 weeks, and they spend every week in each course exchanging ideas with each other. This is a very strong academic pedagogy with a very clear reasoning around it. When our students come to us in order to better their future, we have a broader goal. Just imagine what happened when every time an Indian student takes a class, he meets a different Pakistani student. Every time a Greek student takes a class, he meets a different Turkish students. And every time a Syrian student take a class, he meet a different Israeli students. We open their mind. We create a shift in attitude, and we teach them that those that are considered their enemies outside of the class are most likely to be the closest to them in terms of culture, and they become their best friends. So every time our students take a class is 9 weeks long, 8 weeks of studying, and the 9th week is an exam. And every week in our class starts on Thursday and ends on Wednesday. And actually every course is being built around a weekly assignment. Every Thursday, when a new week starts, the students and all of our courses start on Thursday, ends on Wednesday. We're making sure that for everyone, the weekend will be the middle of the week. So whether they like to study only in the weekend, they can study a lot in the weekend. When they don't like to study in the weekend, they can still spend the time not studying there over the weekend. But every time they come to the class, and Thursday is the first day, they go into sorry. So every time they go to the class, they go into the virtual class. And when they go into the virtual class, the first thing they see is the names of the students like themselves, the 20 students. And each student decide what to share about themselves. And similar to Facebook, students might only put their name, or they might put a video of their cat, whatever they choose to share with their peers. And with them, when they go to the class, and let's say that the first student is Chinese, just to make it the story more personal. So let's say that the first student who goes on Thursday morning to the class is Chinese. He sees the lecture notes of the week, the reading assignment of the week, the homework assignment, and the discussion question. And after the student, and let's say, as I said, that the first student is Chinese, he read the notes, maybe he saw the video, read the material, he gets to the place where he see the discussion question of the week, and he decides to comment on it. And he puts his own original comment to the on the class discussion. Let's say that the second student is Indonesian, and she does the same. But at that point, she already sees what the Chinese wrote. So she decides to comment on the Chinese comment. And let's say that the third student is Syrian, and she's doing the same, but she's also seeing what the Chinese wrote and what the Indonesian wrote, and she decides to comment on it as well. And the Chinese is very likely to go back to the class to say what everyone has to say about his point. And a discussion developing all week long between the students. Every week, every student must have at least one original comment to the class discussion, and at least 3 times to comment on what other people say. So the discussion develops all week long, and the instructor is there every day to see what the people write, to correct mistakes, to answer questions, and if needed, to redirect the discussion or talk to a students one-on-one. The students are talking to each other as much as they want. They can talk to the professor. They can talk directly in the forum or one-on-one. But the entire pedagogy is where students share, teach and learn from each other. It's a peer-to-peer pedagogy, extremely strong, with teaching the students how to evaluate others. That's an amazing tool. Teaching students how to accept assessment of other students, that's also extremely important tool. And putting students in teams from around the world and teach them how to work together, this is a very powerful tool to teach them when they work in the 21st century global environment. By the ninth week, by the end of the week, the students submit their homework, which is assessed anonymously and randomly by their peers, and they get grade from each other. This is going on for 9 weeks. However, every work that they are submitting is being checked by UniCheck. UniCheck is actually our method to fight plagiarism. UniCheck's plagiarism detection software automatically checks student work for similarities. Every time it searches the net to see if whatever the students submit was copied from somewhere else. It searched the entire internet to ensure that none of the work submitted was copied from alternative source. It provides the instructors and the academic affairs team with details originally report, and it is extremely important. It is extremely important because academic honesty is incredibly important at your people. However, with the students, with 31,000 students coming from 200 countries, we understand that there are significant cultural differences that exist in terms of what is plagiarism. We had cases where students submit homework and we tell them, you copied it. We see that you copied it. You went to Wikipedia and copied it. And they come back to you and said, sure. I wanted to find the answer to the question. I went all the way. I found the exact right answer. And I want to make sure that I put it right. Moreover, look, I wrote down that I took it from Wikipedia and where I took it from. I didn't try to teach. So teaching the students, especially those that are unfamiliar with US education system and a very different understanding and expectations of what constitutes plagiarism, this is extremely important, and we teach our students at the beginning, we give them warning. We teach them, actually, in the very first course that they are being asked to take, we teach them about it and we follow it very closely. We warn them where it happened first. But the ability to be able to detect it and to be able to make sure that none of the homework that is being submitted is being copied is extremely important. UniCheck gave it to us as a pro bono, as a donation. We are extremely grateful to them because it upgrades our quality. It enables us to do a decent job, and we are very thankful for them for doing it. And it's a tool that is now being used in many, many other places. So this is actually how we check the work. By the 9th week, the students are taking a final exam, which is proctored, which means that we send the students to a proctor where the exam is, and they have to take the exam in front of the proctor, or alternatively, they can use ProctorU, which is online proctoring, which means that someone is watching them while they take their final exam, watching them via the internet, and ensure academic honesty. As I said before, it is our mission not to leave behind anyone. For this reason, any student with a high school diploma and proficiency in English can be accepted to the university. However, while our mission is to open the gates wide for everyone, at the same time, we need to have a funnel to make sure that those that are qualified for higher education will stay with us. As such, all the students are being asked to take 2 foundation courses to test out our pedagogy, to see if it's up to their expectations, if they like the way we teach, but at the same time, to see if they meet our rigorous academic standards and if they can meet our requirement. So while we open the doors to as many as we can, only those who meet our standards can continue with us. Our students come to us in order to have a better chance for a better future. But they are not typical students. We have survivors of the genocide in Rwanda, survivors of the earthquake in Haiti, and people who barely make their living. There are many, many, many refugees from all over the world, and recently, many, many Syrian refugees who come to us. We are the opportunity for those who have no other opportunity. When we started, skeptics says, no university can lean on volunteers. Remember, we have 17,000 of them. If it does lean on volunteers, it will never be accredited. We received our accredited in 2014. And then they said, if it gets accredited, it won't be financially sustainable. We are sustainable for the last 3 years from the students' fees, the students' small fees that they paying for us. We have proven to the skeptics that they were wrong. Online education used to be on the sideline of higher education. In this era of the coronavirus, online education became the mainstream. However, the risk is now that the future of higher education will be forever ruined if the universities do not move to online correctly. Professors cannot simply lecture on Zoom for 2 hours and then go home and come the next week. Professors must be specially trained in the technical component, but also understand how to keep courses engaging from a distance. Online learning can be isolating by nature. There must be human connection and social interaction in order for it to succeed. We implement peer-and-peer pedagogy and collaborative learning. Assignment must be group projects. Peer-reviewed and discussion forum are crucial. The interaction between the students all week long is extremely important. The professor must be in the class every day. There should be a support for the students every day, whether it is a technical support, academic support, or any other support. We are there for 11 years. We gained over 11 years of experience how university can succeed being online, and we actually are offering other universities help. We are willing to help other universities to teach their professors how to teach online, but also teach their students our courses on behalf of the universities. So many universities are struggling these days to go online, and they don't necessarily know how to do it, and we are more than welcome them to come to us and see how we do it, and if needed, to teach their students how to make it happen. The struggle, higher education must change itself in order to succeed in the era to come. We are going into a recession. The entire world is going to be in recession. Moreover, because of the coronavirus, not only that a lot of people will be afraid to go back to school, many of them will not be able to afford it. Looking at colleges and universities, they will experience budget cuts. Most governments in the world have already announced that they are going to cut the budget of universities, and more to come, simply because of the recession. So universities need to be ready for this situation. And the way to do it, or the best way to do it, is to partially going online, because online is much cheaper than traditional school. And if they're going online, they will be able to dramatically cut their costs. And if they give the saving to the students, cut dramatically the costs to the students. At the same time, if universities take more students, they can have more revenues. So to make the numbers clear, if university teach 30,000 students for over 4 years, and I'm giving the American model, they can send the students and teach them the first year online. Take another 10,000 students and tell them, you are studying the first year tuition-free online, but then they taking yet 30,000 students to study the 3 years before, instead of the 4 years. So they will still have 30,000 students paying the same tuition and having 10,000 students study the first year tuition free and saving money. No revenue cut to the universities, 25% cut for the students who study the first year online. Now, it might be not the best solution for every student. It might not be the best fit for everyone, but for many, this is the only alternative. And as I said before about us being an alternative to those who have no alternative, this is an amazing alternative for those who have no other alternative. University needs to restructure. They need to think about to build themselves in the era after the coronavirus and make themselves strong and be ready for the future. In the meantime, we are willing to help other universities, as I said, either to teach on their behalf, to take their students and teach for them, or show them how it can work. we charge our students only $100 per each end of course exam. So a full degree with us costs 4,000 US dollars, BA. If the students, and there is no additional cost, no textbooks, no other costs involved. And for those who cannot afford even that, we offer scholarships. But with this amount, $100 per course, we are financially sustainable. So I think that many universities can learn from us how to make higher education accessible, affordable, and with the right quality. So this is University of the People, and that's what we are. We open the gates to higher education to everyone. We give our students a better chance for the future. We offer the world a better chance for peace. And we, as a university, will continue to grow, will continue to accept more and more students as long as the world needs us, as long as there are even one student who need our services. And just imagine how our world will look like if 1 million students will walk through our door. So thank you very much. I don't know if we still have time, but if you have time, I can be here. So back to you, and thank you so much for listening.
Well, thank you so much, Shai, to share all this information from the University of People, how it works, and I am sure you will have some questions, and I would like to take at least 15 minutes to, if you have time, Shai, maybe 15 more minutes.
Sure.
To have a few questions for you. So anybody who has questions, please put the question in the chat so that Shai can review them and respond, please.
Do you want to choose the questions or do you want me to choose them?
Well, no, actually, I don't like to choose questions. I just, whatever is going to come, Shai, is for you.
Okay, no, sorry, I need to read them, but okay.
For now, there's no question yet. I guess people are still trying to write. Look, it's very inspiring, Shai. Your, more than the cost and everything, it looks like the access to education is, your university is having a great, huge impact. How do you manage access to internet, right? Because at the end, the students still need to have some way access to internet at some time of the day. Do you have some network? Do you have some deals with internet companies? Do you have, how do you manage this?
Okay, so first of all, I just saw that we have a few students and one student who is starting this month with us. So congratulate all of you, and great to meet you here, and good luck with your studies. Well, if you start, good luck with your studies, and if you are already a student, continue and never give up. But to go back to your question, we from the very beginning decided that since we realized that a lot of people do not have strong internet connection or don't have bandwidth, the original idea was to offer low bandwidth education. And the idea was that everything is or was text-based. So from the very beginning, everything was text-based, no video, no audio. Everything was through a text and not through anything that required broadband. We knew that we have students who study from offices. We even have at the early new days students who use dial-up well, the younger people on the call might not even know what it is, in order to connect to the internet. As such, we use only text. However, as things progress, two things we realize. First of all, that more and more people have broadband, but moreover, that there are people who have broadband that are being so-called punished because we only use text. So if you can, because we don't let them enjoy the richness of the internet. As such, we are now adding videos to all of our courses. So what we do, we tell the students, if you have a broadband, go watch this video. Either video that our professor produced, or go watch TED Talk, go watch a MIT video, any video, YouTube video. But if you don't have broadband, here is what you can use. So we try to use both ways. Saying that, and your question is well taken, if you don't have any internet connection, it's tough. Now, more and more people, we have by now 3,000 refugees, 2,000 of them are Syrian. And when we all saw the horrible stories of Syrian refugees getting out of the boats in the Greek islands, it is horrible, obviously. But the first thing they do, they take out of a plastic bag their cell phone and they call their families, well, back in Syria, to say that they are alive. But they're always cell phones. So more and more students have cell phones, and you can study with us with any internet connection. And you can study with us with cell phone, with tablet, with computer, with laptop, with any internet connection. But if you don't have any internet connection, you cannot study with us. I had this morning a call with the UNHCR, the UN High, the refugee organization of the UN, about the situation in Ethiopia. And in Ethiopia, most people do not have broadband, so they cannot study with us. So the answer is that we are as flexible as we can, but still, it's not for everyone.
Excellent. You have one question. Why still University of People ranks?
Yeah, I saw the question, 5,868. Well, I didn't know that we are ranked by anyone because we are not participating in any ranking. We are a fully accredited university by the DAC, which stands for the Distance Education Accreditation Commission, fully recognized by the Department of Education. And as I mentioned before, our graduates can continue with NYU, with Berkeley, with Edinburgh, our professors coming from the best universities. I would just say, and when you look at, and I haven't talked about our graduates, but our graduates work with IBM and Apple and Amazon and JP Morgan and the World Bank and great companies. We're very proud of our graduates. Actually, our first graduate who went through our agreement with Berkeley, went to study with Berkeley. She just graduated with Berkeley with straight A, 4.0, and was just accepted to MIT for her master degree. So we are a good university and we are very proud of ourselves. I don't know what this ranking is, so I can't comment. We are not part of any ranking. Then someone asked about how much is a tuition free at the end of each course and the level of English required. Okay, so the level of English is the level of every American university. You need to pass the TOEFL and you need to come to us with a TOEFL. If you don't have a TOEFL, first of all, unless if you come to us and that you are American or you studied in a school where language was the main language of instruction, we ask you either to take the TOEFL. If you don't have the TOEFL or equivalent, or Duolingo, for example, we created a course that we ask you to take the course If you pass it, you can continue with us. So before you pass it and demonstrate that you meet the English standard, you can, only then you can study with us. So that's the level of English. And by the way, we are an American university. Any American university has pretty much the same requirement. And as I said, then we ask you to take 2 more courses to pass them in order to stay with us. If you pass them, by the way, you get credit for them and continue with us. One course is online strategies, where we teach you how it is to study online, what is our pedagogy, what is required from you, what is plagiarism, as I mentioned before, and you can continue. And if you pass the courses, you get credit and continue with us. If you don't pass them, it means that you don't meet our standard and you cannot continue with us. The fees at the end, someone asked about the fees. It's $100, US dollar per each end of course exam. So it's actually the assessment of each course for undergraduate. We offer now business administration, computer science, and health science bachelor level. We have also MBA, Master in Business Administration, and MED, Master in Education. When you, so it costs $100 per each end of course bachelor degree, $200 US for each master level course, but it's still much cheaper for master because there are less courses. If students cannot pay, we're working very hard to give enough scholarships. We give as many scholarships as we can. We cannot offer scholarship for everyone because we're growing so fast, but we're trying as much as we can that nobody would be left behind for financial reasons. Okay, I saw that someone get a facility as well as a scholarship for first year. I'm not sure what facility means in this case, but students, as I said, if it's he got it with us, and we're talking about if we're talking about the scholarship, as I said, those who cannot afford it, we're trying to give them scholarships. Someone asked about MED. Our MED is in partnership with the IB, the International Baccalaureate, which those of you know, it's the most, all the international schools in the world use the baccalaureate. It's all the prestigious international schools are part of the baccalaureate system. And we develop with them a master in education. It was built by the previous president of Columbia University Teachers College, the Dean of Education of Stanford, and the Provost of Berkeley, and very distinguished professors, and also faculty from the IB. It's a great program. We are very proud of it. It's very fast growing. It is either for teachers who want to get master level degree or want to become part of the IB system. You're not allowed to teach the IB unless you take a few courses, and this degree obviously are part of these courses, but also people who want to become teachers, even though you are being certified by the IB, and it's not, and then you can teach in the IB schools, but you are not necessarily certified as teacher in your local state. And as such, you can, we mainly have teachers who just want to upgrade either to become IB teachers or to become headmasters, or want to be promoted in the administration and coming to us. Program that will be crossed between health and computer science programs. Well, right now, we only have the degrees that I mentioned, and we might have more in the future. We are thinking about if and what should be our next degrees. We're thinking, we haven't announced anything new. When we have something new, we'll announce it. And by the way, because of our accreditation regulations, we are not allowed to talk about anything before it is accredited. So forgive me, I'm not allowed to talk about anything, but we might. Um, but we should remember, first of all, that the degrees, we are there, as I said, to help people to have a better future. And the degrees that we offer are the degrees that are most likely to help our students find a job. And that's why we decided on these degrees. And at the same time, these are the degrees that we could ensure that they are the highest quality. So it's two things combined. And that's why we chose them. And the demand is growing. As I mentioned, we double ourselves every year. So we don't feel in a strong pressure to develop more courses, but we might. And as I said, I cannot talk more about it. Someone, Yemenite people. Okay. As I said, I would say two things. First of all, we have taken 3,000 refugees. We have taken more refugees than any university in the world. And we definitely plan to continue taking refugees. And Yemenites, many of them are refugees as well, and they are more than welcome to apply. By the way, we have a Yemenite studying with them. Actually, I personally met someone, a Yemenite refugee in Hong Kong, who is now a student of us, and we have students, and I welcome you to join us. I would say one more thing. In the World Economic Forum in Jordan last year, I announced our plan to develop University of the People in Arabic to be a university by refugees and for refugees, for Arab students in the Middle East. Whenever this program will be developed and whenever it will be accredited, we will be able to announce it. That's as much as I can say right now. So it is our plan to develop a university in Arabic, and we'll announce it when we are allowed to announce it. But as I said, we are definitely trying to accommodate as many refugees as we can. The next question was about PhD. Well, we do not have PhD. As I said, we are not allowed to talk about any program before it is accredited, but I can tell you that we are not working on any PhD program right now. It's a different setting. It's a different, you need more faculty for that. And we are trying to be the most efficient university, having a great education, quality education for as many students as possible. And that's what we're doing with a great success, but we're trying not to go to the sides which might force us to cut our services. And by the way, for that very reason, we give great education, but we don't give much more than that. So we don't give extracurricular activity. We don't have psychologists. We don't have sports team. We are only giving the education. We can assure every student that when they come out with our degree, they will be ready for the job market. However, they will not get campus life with us. They will get virtual campus life, but not face-to-face campus life. Yeah.
I guess you had a lot of questions, Shai. Thank you so much to respond to all of them and to give great details. Really appreciate that you accept this invitation. You took a little bit of logistic and time to get us together for this webinar, but I know everybody is really busy. It's a really difficult situation. So thank you so much again. I hope we keep in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the great questions. Thank you for listening, and have a great day. Thank you.
You too, and thank you to everybody who joined the webinar. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.